G'day. Coffee's going mad. Ripping down all the nuts on that tree. Ah! Didn't seem to be many this year. Like there was a big flock last year just ripping into the whole tree.
Mainly babies, I think. Maybe there wasn't many babies born.
Could be. My daughter says soup is amazing, thanks. You sent a message.
Oh, she must have just had some.
I gave her enough for about 3 good servings. Oh, not too hot today, about 35 degrees, which is about 95. But to us it was quite pleasant. Wasn't too bad, was it? I don't know if this is working. There's a little yellow dot there, see that?
I've never seen that before.
Ah,
It says you're connected to the chat.
yes. I don't know what it is. Some people come in here, they might get a sneak preview of tiled bathroom, which is one of them's finished. But we won't be on for too long. Lots of babies in there. We can see them, not sure. Got a sticky beak, so we can spot them.
I think there's one on the place branch that you will see.
Show you these black cockatoos, maybe. Pretty sure you might be able to see that one. There's a few of them. See up there? So I can zoom in. No, I can't. What those cockies do is they rip all the nuts off that tree, and in the process they take a heap of foliage. See all the foliage on the ground? We can have up to about 50 or 60 up there, but there's only a few here, and a few of them are babies. Even though they look like a big cockatoo, they're not really. They're only about a foot tall. Much bigger ones than that. noisy buggers, but that's okay. Got a nice couple of pieces of sirloin steak today, but the wife doesn't feel like it, so that'll be for tomorrow. Steak and chips, I think we'll have maybe. What do you think? No.
Yeah.
Maybe a salad, or maybe a pasta salad, or maybe your potato salad.
You want?
Another packet of those small potatoes.
Alright.
Hello, Caroline. Guess quite a pleasant day here today, only about 95, which, we're not kidding, it's quite pleasant. It's going to be like that all week, so not too hot. And the tiler's finished off one of our ensuite bathrooms today, looks pretty good. I'll finish me Siggy and I'll take you in here, you can have a look. Yeah, hello Terry. I wouldn't use the word bouncing back because we're not even in the hottest part of the year here yet. It comes in about another 6 weeks. So it's still not good. Been a great response around the globe though. Lots of thoughts, prayers, and people donating to certain causes, which is great. Yeah, the black cockatoos. I just got up and showed if I catch them again. They get a bit shy when I go out. But they're a black cockatoo. You just saw them fly away. There's still some up there, but maybe you can't see them. But they're not a big cocky, they're probably about, if they were on the ground, they'd be about a foot tall, sort of a medium size cockatoo. Yeah, it's very sad. Everyone's chipping in over here, and like I say, the response globally. I think what this has done is make a lot of people aware, first of all, how big Australia is. We're doing good, Rujix, thank you for asking. We don't have any fires threatening areas at the moment where I live, but over east it's devastating. We've got plenty of fires in my state, but they're out in the bush, luckily. But loads of people have lost their lives, thousands of houses have gone, forget about outbuildings and that. But hello Carlos. One of the sad things is the loss of wildlife. It's catastrophic in some areas. Just one island, which is not part of the mainland Australia, and not a huge island. But as we speak, thousands of sheep are being shot because they've been burnt. On that particular island called Kangaroo Island, had a population of about 50,000 koalas. Half of them are gone. And then you can talk about all the other snakes, lizards, you name it, kangaroos. It is by far the biggest catastrophe, natural catastrophe, in Australian history. But I think it's focusing the world on that. We haven't done anything different, but what's happened is our country is so dry, it's so hot, that this may be an example of what can occur in the northern hemisphere. And people think they're immune. No, it'll be fine. Trust me, it can happen very quickly. And there was an article today from the United States on how many Americans were staggered when the map of Australia was placed over the map of America. To give you an idea, if you take Alaska away from America, Australia is bigger than the United States. People really didn't know that. They kept thinking, little island down the southern hemisphere, we're a huge country. And then when you look at all the fires burning, then you get a fairly big picture about how enormous this event has been. And like I say, the response around the globe has been fantastic. Lots of well wishes, lots of people donating money, famous actors, comedians, countries. But there's a lot of things you can do with money, but it's very hard to repair the emotional strain on some of these people. You know, you talk about people being displaced. There's tens of thousands of people that are either being looked after for free in things like Airbnbs, because we have loads of them in Australia. They've opened their doors for families. Just people on a register saying, I've got a couple of rooms if there's some people that need somewhere to stay. So we're all chipping in. We've got firefighters from Canada. Some have been here since October, rejects. You've got, I think the last consignment was 35 from Canada, but I think there's over 100 here already. New Zealand has just sent another heap of people over. It's the first time that Army reservists have been called up. The Army and Navy are already out there. When you realise there are thousands of Navy and Army personnel, along with all the equipment, the ships, scenes of thousands of people being taken off a beach to go on a ship for safety. One of the firefighters' father was at Dunkirk, and he said he remembered his father telling him stories about what Dunkirk was like. And he said, this is what it looks like. Everything's destroyed and people need help. The event won't be really appreciated in its enormity until time passes. Another year from now or 2 years from now, there will be documentaries about what happened here. And we're used to bushfires. We're just not used to what happened in the last 3 months here. And the irony is the hottest part of the year has not yet arrived. So we're not out of the woods. But like I say, you can throw a heap of money at things, but it's the emotional trauma that people have gone through. I don't know whether you've ever gone back somewhere and your house has been totally destroyed. I haven't, but I've been in an area where 3 or 4 homes were, and I knew these people, and you can just see how devastating it is. Now, forget most people have insurance. That's not the point. Everything that was is no longer. If you ever think of your place and then you turn around and think, right, close my eyes, it's all gone. It's burnt. There's just a brick or two, or a bit of burnt timber. Nothing. But the problem with fire is it is very efficient. It just erases. So like I say, I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime in my country. So I've been all around my country, and particularly in the last couple of years I've been driving all around my country, and I've never seen it as dry as it was last November when we crossed the Nullarbor from east coast to west. It is incredibly dry. There's drought everywhere. So our major issue in this country is and always will be water. But there are whole towns just been wiped out. Like I say, I couldn't spend enough time explaining if I had a list of things that have been destroyed. I'd be here for weeks telling you. The enormity is that big. And like I say, people are getting money, they're getting assistance, people are holding their hands out, helping them. You know, people are just finding out what size the kids' clothing is required, and stores are just giving it to them. That's what we've always done in this country. Everyone opens up. But it's not the money and it's not the goods, things that are in people's minds that they've seen and experienced is enormous. But I hope this is a wake-up call, not just for my government, which is very lethargic climate deniers, but the rest of the world. We are an enormous country that that has seen fires that you just wouldn't believe. Fires the size of Belgium burning. That's one fire. And hundreds of other fires just as big. And today, sadly, there is a chance that 3 major fires will come together on 3 different fronts, and it'll be called a mega fire, which means it's over 500 kilometres long, which is devastating. But come another 6 weeks, we are all praying for monsoonal rains to hit at least the northern parts of Australia. We've got a small cyclone in the north of where we are that has already put out 2 major fires. It's had 2 and 3 inches of rain in that area. If you get a chance, Google overlay map Australia on the US, and then people will see how big my country is. Like I say, if you took Alaska off the map of the USA, Australia is bigger in landmass. And then when you see the satellite of the fires burning, you would then understand. Oh, good on you, Tammy. Tammy's rain dancing.
Oh, good.
They had about half an inch of rain in the major fire areas yesterday, but it's all evaporated. The heat in the ground with the rain falling means there's no moisture left. It's gone. It did give sort of about an 8-hour window where some firefighters could take a break, but that's it. They're back at work today, and a mega fire is predicted. Like I say, I just hope this doesn't happen in the Northern Hemisphere. If your summer is only half as bad as our summer, you're in for a very bad time. I hope it doesn't happen. The government released yesterday they're going to open up $2 billion for fire relief, which means people get money straight away, put in their banks so they can live, pay their bills. The banks have been called in. Hello, Buttercup. The banks have been told, you're not charging these people any mortgage. We have an act in this country that stops banks saying, well, I know your house is burnt down, but you still owe me money. No. When the insurance claim is settled, then the banks can ask for some mortgage money. So all that side of things will be covered. Even people that didn't have insurance, there'll be plenty of people coming together to rebuild their homes. Things will get better. We just got to work differently. We've got to live differently. We are so small when it comes to nature. It makes all the trifle nonsense that occurs on here seem totally irrelevant. Life can be very ironic. Very sad day yesterday when one of the volunteer firefighters was buried, and everyone attended, lots of people, dignitaries attended, and as he was buried, it rained cruelly ironic. Things have to change on this planet. We've broken it. We need to fix it. Yeah. You notice though, Buttercup, you never see a politician be a volunteer firefighter. Never see a politician roll his sleeves up and put sandbags when there's a flood. You will not see a politician, if there's more work than that to do, they disappear. They live on red trick alone. What I'm going to do for you is, that's why our Prime Minister's been told to piss off. One of the old firefighters, I think I told you yesterday, he walked up and said, "You're doing a great job, mate." And he said, "I am, and you're not welcome." Not mean, not nasty, straight to the point. Politicians freely send young men to war, young men's blood for old men's anger. Yet, if you look through, Australia's the same as the US, if you look through Congress in the US, you see how many sons and daughters of politicians in the United States that go to war. It's a very, very low figure. But everyone else's children are asked to go. Yep, that's the one word that we've lost. It's humanity. And the bottom of YouTube is a great example of that. No compassion and the inhumanity that's delivered. All for $1. And of course, every time there's something like this that happens around the world, not just Australia, there are people scamming people out of money.
Oh God, it's right, yeah.
They've got people texting people saying, "Send $50 to this account," blah, blah, blah.
Oh, they're ringing you up.
And they're doing the worst one of all, other than humans, is they're saying, "We need $100,000 to be raised for saving kangaroos on this certain part of the," which is all bullshit. And these people will go to jail.
Oh, 3 already aren't going to court. There's been 3 have been, oh no, they were looters. 3 looters have been caught. It happens in any country. Australia's no different when it comes to scams or looting.
A couple of scams are offshore scams.
Yeah. But those 3 that got caught looting.
Yep. For me, there's a difference between looting and somebody that's got a family that needs food and water. And if they went into a shop and stole a case of water and some food, I wouldn't prosecute. But if it's simply like televisions and stereos...
Yeah, these are outright looting, taking to resell. Yeah, it is sick, I know, Buttercup. But they've been caught, 3 of them have anyway.
Anyway, on a different note, I'll take you for a wander. Lots of mess in here. Lots of empty cardboard boxes. They have finished the master bathroom, as far as tiling goes. They've got to grout it yet. Things in the basin and electric work, that's finished. Hello, Scarlett. And they've already started to pre-cut some of the tiles to go into this room, which is the second ensuite, and they'll be starting that tomorrow. So one down and one to go. There's the princess sitting there. Did I? Okay. I got a bit staggery or the camera? It does look good. It looked totally different when the fittings are in, of course. But that's just the start. Like I say, when you come near the end of a build like this, a lot of things happen quite quickly. In the next week, things should be happening. In a few days, the solar should be going up, I think, about the 10th. So a lot of things happen at the one time. There's a black cockatoo.
A red-tailed black cockatoo.
Yeah, we've got hundreds of different species.
Yeah, he's eating the seeds off the tree. They're babies. Oh, right. Oh, there it is. What are you doing? Yeah.
An Australian comedian who works mainly in the US, who had a fair following on Instagram and the like, and she asked for people to donate for the cause, and she's now raised close to $40 million. It's just one person, and that's tremendous. But like I say, money is one thing, but this stays with people forever. We have plenty of legit agencies that are already doing the best they can in areas to save wildlife. It's a staggering scale though. Some of the hard decisions will be to try and save areas that have more chance of regrowth than areas that are totally devastated, because it's hard to move animals from their environment. They're used to a certain area, that's where they grew up, and that's where they stay within a certain radius. And if it's totally destroyed, it's too hard to save them because there's nothing to eat. Loads of people, even individually, are saving animals. A real sad case of a kangaroo rescue centre where hundreds and hundreds of kangaroos are saved every year. Everything there was destroyed.
Yeah, we're all right, but yes, they probably will. Just talking about that today when I went to buy my blueberries, and I thought, oh, hang on a sec, I ain't going to be able to get them for a while.
No, that country's burnt.
Yeah, the country. Yeah.
It'll be a case scale of, you just make do with what is available. Lots of areas have been destroyed that are food belts. So it's not like some things will be available for a very long time. We've had cyclones, you call them hurricanes, that have wiped out complete crops, different crops, mangoes, bananas. And for 2 years, bananas were, they were $20 a kilo.
They were 25 a kilo.
So about $10 a pound.
Yeah, that's for 12 months you couldn't get
For 2 years.
any food related with banana. No banana cake, no banana splits, nothing.
But that's not the major problem. We're a great producer of food all around the country. Even in my state, massive producers of food. So no one's going to go hungry. We don't really need to stock up on dry goods. It's not the event that's occurred has destroyed people's lives as far as homes, infrastructure, businesses, schools, you name it.
Yeah, that's right. Buttercup.
You'll get by. Look, I mean, honestly, if every shop closed and there was nothing available, we'd still eat okay. With masses of seafood, plenty of wildlife in the way of wild pigs, you name it, there's plenty to eat here. So unlike many countries, if the crunch came, we'd do okay. I mean, at the moment, I think with the Navy and the Army, there are hundreds and hundreds of deployed medical staff just from the military side of things. There are, I don't know how many tonnes, something like 15 tonne of water delivered to one town because the infrastructure's been destroyed, pumping stations destroyed. And it takes quite a while to clean out the delivery system of water if it's been contaminated. Here we don't need much, but if we had to, we could eat every few days. But like I say, the thing that's been destroyed is everything of intrinsic value, people's homes, photographs, clothing, jewellery. Very sad watching people sift through a house saying, I think that's where the box was where we kept Grandma's jewellery. Most of the time when they find it, it's melted. So they're the things you can't replace. You can build a house again. We have to rethink on how we build, where we build, and what we build. I saw a plan probably about 30 years ago, and I thought it was brilliant. Hello, hi. Sorry about all the smoke we're sending you, mate.
Oh, it's been all the way to Chile. Chile have got our smoke
You
now.
would have seen it. You'd have woke up with the red sky in the morning. Yeah, we're doing well, mate. Thank you. I was saying about 30 years ago I saw an architect's vision for building in Australia. And I thought it was brilliant. What it was, all the factories and businesses and commerce was above ground. All the living was underground. You build underground in Australia, you only have to go down 5 feet. Might be 110 degrees on the surface. It'll be 70 degrees 5 feet down. It was a brilliant plan. In other words, keep all industry and everything up top, shops and where you work, where you lived. By building underground, you have insulation properties that you don't have to pay for.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're getting all that smoke. Like I said, it's all going all the way to Chile.
I think people are starting to realise when they've seen some of these overlay maps of Australia on the US, how big this country is. It's the same size as the US. And when they see particularly satellite images of the fires, then they understand it is catastrophic. But loads of New Zealand firefighters are here. Not only firefighters, coordinators have been coming over. Even part of the New Zealand military is on standby at one request. Jacinda will send hundreds to Australia. They haven't asked for them yet, but your Prime Minister has said it will happen as soon as they need us. You've got to go and check some of his videos, Scarlett, they're brilliant.
The landscape alone is what I look at. The places that he takes you.
It tires flies.